welcome. We are in the town of Amaravati that has given its name to the entire capital region of Andhra Pradesh. Amaravati was the ancient seat of power of the Satavahana rulers. It was also the city of Lord Indra, the king of gods. It is also known as Dakshina Kashi. And the name was chosen because of its historical, spiritual and mythological significance.
The people in the town of Amaravati are jubilant that its name has been given to a larger geographical spread.
అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంది అంటే ఇక్కడ ఉన్నందుకు మేము ఆ పేరు పెట్టుకున్నందుకు మంచిదే కదా, చాలా మంచిది కదా. ఇప్పుడు మేము ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాము, అమరావతి పేరు అంటే ఇప్పుడు ప్రపంచ దేశాల్లో మొత్తం కూడా మాకు పేరు మారిపోతుంది కదా. ఇప్పుడు మాకు ఇక్కడ అమరావతిలో ఉన్నందుకు చాలా హ్యాపీ కదా, దానికి చాలా హ్యాపీ. అది మాత్రం కంటిన్యూస్ కంపల్సరీ.
Andhra Pradesh new capital region project will be big. It will need an estimated investment of over 100,000 crore rupees. Over the next half hour, we will examine if Chandrababu Naidu's extravagant dream will mean capital gains for Andhra Pradesh, or will it be a case of capital punishment for its stakeholders.
This promotional film that was showcased to investors in Japan and Singapore is what Naidu wants Amaravati to be like. The best in India. And Singapore is the template to emulate, which is why the master plan is being prepared in the island nation, with Naidu sparing no capital to get the best minds in the business to ideate for his capital city, to be located in Krishna and Guntur district. The entire capital region that will include the cities of Vijayawada and Guntur will be spread over 7,000 square kilometers. The core capital area will be 212 square kilometers. The seat of power will be the seat capital area of 8 square kilometers, where the Raj Bhavan, the assembly and the secretariat will be located. The total land needed is in the range of 53,000 acres, of which 37,000 acres is private land. The target is to build the seed capital area by 2019. Aware that forcible land acquisition will raise a stink, Naidu hit upon the idea of land pooling, whereby farmers were asked to become stakeholders in the new capital. What it meant is that for every acre given, a farmer would get 1,000 square yards of residential space and 450 square yards of commercial space. Villagers in 29 habitations will form the nucleus of the new core capital area, but will have to move away from farming as an occupation and adopt a livelihood based on another industry. They will be enrolled in skill development classes and encouraged to move into areas such as government, construction and textiles. Amaravati is one of the few places where the river Krishna flows north instead of south or east. According to historians, this is considered auspicious.
Because of the Krishna River has been passing through the north side. As per Hindu astrology, the river passing way next to the south part of the river is very beautiful area because of Vastu. And the second part is he wants to develop it for the ecotourism spot by showing that Krishna River. That's why he was going to establish the construction, major part of construction in this particular area which we are standing.
So far so good, but Naidu has hit a roadblock with pooling 5,000 of the 37,000 acres. That is because this land is closer to the Krishna River, and therefore, unlike the remaining 32,000 acres of dry land, this is extremely fertile and a multi-crop land. Many farmers in the 5,000 acres of land therefore are up in arms, threatening to turn Naidu's dream into a nightmare.
వచ్చింది మన గ్రామం కాడికి. మరి మేమేం చూస్తాం అంటే అయ్యా మేము 4 పంటలు 3 పంటలు పండుతున్నాము, రివర్ బెల్ట్లో ఉన్నాం మేము. మరి మా పొలాలు చూస్తే ఇలువైన పొలాలు, కౌలు ₹1,00,000. ఇవాళ భూమి నువ్వు రాజధాని రాకముందు కోటి 1,30,00,000 కొన్నారు. మరి ఒక పంట పండే పొలాలు ఉన్నాయి. వాళ్ళు 4-5 గ్రామాల వాళ్ళు మీకు ఇస్తాం రమ్మంటున్నారు. వాళ్ళ దగ్గర బాట్ల మాకు వాస్తు అంటున్నాడు. ఎవరో ఒక సిద్ధాంతి గారు చెప్పారంట వాస్తు. ఆ వాస్తాన్ని తీసుకొచ్చి రివర్ బెల్ట్లో పెట్టాడు మాకు.
Dr. Parakala Prabhakar, Communications Advisor to the Andhra Pradesh Government, argues that there is a reason why this particular stretch is being sought after.
Look at London, it's on the river bank. Look at Paris, it's on the river bank. Look at Delhi, it's on the river bank. Most of the capitals are on the river bank. And you know, the very fact that human beings exist on this earth is at the expense of some flora and fauna. But Andhra Pradesh is in a very peculiar situation. We are pushed out of a capital, we are pushed out of the state, and we need to, build a capital, build a state. And if you build a capital somewhere in the remote forest or etc., you're not going to get the kind of ecosystem that you need to have people coming in, the best brains coming in.
But why should it be at the cost of my livelihood? Argues Raghunath Reddy, who tends lovingly to his banana crop in Undavali. Reddy has refused to give his 1 acre to the government for land pooling. His village Undavali is just 3 kilometers from Vijayawada, and by virtue of its proximity has 1 acre of land selling for 3 crores. No wonder waiting to eat a more ripe fruit some years later does not sound such a great idea.
మార్కెట్ ఉంది, 25 లక్షల మార్కెట్ ఉంది. మాకు వాళ్ళకి వేరియేషన్ చూసినప్పుడు కనీసం 10 టైమ్స్ ఉంది. కానీ ల్యాండ్ పుల్లింగ్లో వచ్చేసి మీరు ఉండవల్లిలో ఉన్న ఒకటే, అనంతపురంలో ఉన్న ఒకటే, తుళ్ళూరులో ఉన్న ఒకటే, 29 విలేజెస్లో ఏదైనా ఒకటే అనే సిస్టంలో మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. 29 విలేజెస్లో ఏదైనా ఒకటే అన్నప్పుడు మేము మరి ప్రాక్టికల్గా మేము బోల్డ్ అంత నష్టపోతున్నాం. కాబట్టి మేము ఎటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లోనూ ల్యాండ్ పుల్లింగ్ అనేది భూమిని ఇవ్వము.
The Sivaramakrishnan committee, which examined where Andhra Pradesh capital should be located, advised against establishing it in the Vijayawada-Guntur region, saying it will compromise the best agricultural lands in the country. But Chandrababu Naidu says that it will not be a case of farming paradise lost, but a case of paradise regained.
But the farmers are determined not to give up so easily. They wonder why Naidu needs such large tracts of land to set up basic administrative blocks. In the forefront of the anti-Naidu brigade is ironically his own former agriculture minister V.S. Rao, who is still a Telugu Desam member.
His expectations are very, very overestimates. He say in this capital area by 2050 2 crore people will reside here. How nonsensical it is. How is it possible, tell me? Chandigarh, after nearly 40 years, the population of Chandigarh city is 15 lakhs, you will agree. Then where from people will come? You may ask Japan, Pharaoh or Singapore to construct very beautiful, very, very big buildings. But who will come? When there is already Vijayawada city very nearby and Guntur city very nearby, 10 kilometers, how lakhs of people will come? The employees who are working hitherto in Hyderabad, they will come.
The government blames it on the ignorance of the critics and points out that they are not being futuristic.
Of the 37,000 acres, what the government would be left with for utilization would be hardly 1/4. 50% would be going for common facilities like roads, waste treatment facilities or sewer facilities, parks, reservoirs. That is common use. Of the remaining 50% would be given back. In certain cases, it is more 60% is being given back to the farmers or the landowners. So what is being retained by government ranges between 20 to 25%. That would translate to around 7,500 acres. And 7,500 acres if you take into consideration the requirements of the new capital city in terms of its state government offices or central government offices, new educational institutions or research institutions, then all these things, I don't think it's a big chunk of land.
The argument does not convince M.G. Devasahayam, who was administrator of the Chandigarh capital project. Devasahayam and his team toured the Andhra capital region area and concluded that to undertake a project that will destroy a rich biodiversity of 120 crop species. The project will also remove 1 lakh people away from agriculture. 85% of them are small farmers and landless farm labourers. Besides, many of the villages identified have a vibrant agricultural economy with established farm-to-market linkages.
Locate a small size, about 5,000-6,000 acres of land, government land, and build the capital, administrative capital. They threw this report into the dustbin and arbitrarily just decided to go ahead and start pooling, so-called pooling of the land. Now, from a person who is involved in this area for a long time, this is not building a capital city. It is not building a township. It is a pure and out real estate project. Simple as that.
Which is why those opposed to the capital region project are determined to stall Naidu's extravaganza. Apart from the legal route, meetings like this one organized on April 9th near Guntur are desperate last-minute efforts to counter Naidu's mega capital narrative. On the other side of the break, we will look at how this part of Andhra Pradesh has become a real estate adda. Stay with us. Komineni Kiran Kumar transformed from a farmer to a real estate broker late last year. Ever since, he gave part of his 3-acre land for land pooling. He has discovered there is a pot of gold in the fields of Tullur in Guntur district. A broker's job with a handsome commission that runs into lakhs of rupees offers far better returns than toiling in the field.
ఫీల్ అవుతున్నామండి, వ్యవసాయం మీద అభిమానం ఉంది, చేసుకోవాలని ఉంది, ఫీల్ అవుతున్నాము, కానీ మేము చేయగలిగింది ఏం లేదు కదండి, గవర్నమెంట్ డిసిషన్ కదా.
The compensation now is not very attractive. But the expectation of the compensation 10 years from now is very attractive. So 7,000 farmers have parted with their land in the hope that 10 years from now they will make a windfall profit.
Real estate broker Nagul Mera says that Tullur Mandal, by virtue of being part of the seed capital area where the administrative seat of power will be established, will finally come of age. Land rates have shot up from 6 to 10 lakh rupees an acre a year ago to over 1 crore now.
आप बहुत खुश है सर. तुल्लूर गए तो पिछले किसको नहीं मालूम. अब राजधानी गए तो बहुत पूरे दुनिया सब जनक मालूम. फिर राजधानी होने से बहुत फायदा मिला हमको. और लैंड रेट बढ़ा, फिर लोगों को भी काम बहुत बनाया, हमको पैसे भी बहुत आते हैं.
Which is why in the last 4 months, 4 banks have established a presence in Tullur, a pointer to the new rich in this part of Guntur district. And real estate firms have sprung up in every corner, with boards announcing the new capital of Amaravati as the sunrise city to invest in.
The government says its plan is to convert an agrarian economy into a throbbing urban agglomeration full of life and economic activity, and that contrary to fears, farmers who give their land for land pooling will get land at a much higher land value.
That is not what Harindranath Chaudhary believes. He and other farmers in Raipudi argue they do not buy into Naidu's dream because it lacks transparency and they are being compelled to part with their land on the Chief Minister's terms. Chaudhary dubs Naidu's claim of building a people's capital as a sham.
అత్యవసరం అయితే మేము కూడా ఇవ్వడానికి మేము సిద్ధంగానే ఉన్నాం. ఎన్ని తీసుకున్నా ఏంటంటే మేము చెప్పేది ఇక్కడ రాజధాని రైతు అనేవాడు, ఇక్కడ రైతు అనేవాడు మైనస్, అసలు జీరో అయిపోయాడు. రైతు దగ్గర నుంచి పొలం తీసుకుంటా ఏదో వచ్చి కాసేపు ఉపన్యాసాలు చెప్పేసి మేము అది చేస్తున్నాం బాగు చేస్తున్నాం అని చెప్పేసేసి ఇవాటి వరకు రుణాలు కూడా రద్దు చేయకుండా ఇబ్బంది పెట్టి ఆ పరిస్థితుల్లో ఇక్కడ ఏదో బొంగులు తగలబెట్టేసేసి ఇక్కడ పెద్ద ఏదో డీజీపీ దగ్గర నుంచి అందరూ కూడా నాయకులందరూ కూడా వచ్చి క్రియేషన్ చేసి ఇక్కడ 3,000 మంది పోలీసులను తీసుకొచ్చి ఇక్కడ వింగు పెట్టి వీళ్ళందరూ భయభ్రాంతులు చేసి మీరు పొలం ఇస్తారా లేదా ఎక్విజేషన్ చేయమంటారా అని చెప్పి బెదిరించి మా దగ్గర పొలాలన్నీ కూడా లాక్కోవడం జరిగింది.
నేనేమంటానంటే ప్రజల భవిష్యత్తు కోసం కట్టేటివన్నీ ఇది ప్రజా రాజధాని. రైతుల కన్నీళ్లు అనేటివి రైతులకు మేలు జరిగే విధానంతో ముందుకు పోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. వాలంటరీగా రైతులే ముందుకు వచ్చారు. మా భూమి తీసుకోండి, మా భూమిని తీసుకోండి, రైతులే ముందుకు వచ్చి ఇచ్చారంటే ఆ భూమి ఇచ్చిన దానివల్ల వాళ్ళకి లాభం వాళ్ళకి గ్రహించారు కాబట్టి ఇచ్చారు.
But the fact remains that the government, in order to exert pressure and push reluctant farmers to part with their land, imposed deadlines. The strategy worked. Srinivas Rao signed on the dotted line to give his consent on the last date, February 28, but has now changed his mind. He says his 6 acres fetched him 1.5 lakh rupees every year and he is happy with his life.
ఆఖరి చంద్రబాబు కూడా ఎక్విజేషన్ చేస్తానన్నాడండి. ఏది ఈ రోజు 28వ తారీఖు తప్పితే తెల్లారి 1వ తారీఖు నుంచి మీది సేకరణ చేస్తాం, ఈ రోజు ఇచ్చిన వరకే మేము తీసుకుంటాం, రేపు నుంచి పూలింగ్ తీసుకోం అనేటప్పటికి మమ్మల్ని మేము భయభ్రాంతులం అయ్యి మేము ఇచ్చామండి. ఇక సేకరణ చేస్తే మాకు 20 లక్షల కన్నా పెంచు రాదు, ఇక ఎటు చేస్తాడని భయభ్రాంతులను చేసి ఇచ్చామండి. ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత
ఇవాళ గనక ఏదైతే రైతు గనక 914లో ఉండ షరతులను గనక చూసుకోకుండా గనక రైతు సంతకం చేసినట్టే వాడి లైఫ్ కి ఉరేసుకున్నట్టే.
Peering at a future as a construction labourer or a watchman is what farmers like Srinivas Rao are dreading. He is not impressed with Naidu's plans to enroll farmers in skill development classes to make them learn new vocations.
రేపు ఏమన్నా ఇక అతను ఏదో ఈ అంతా పొలం లాక్కొని ఏదో మీకు ఈ స్కూళ్ళు పెట్టి అది నేర్పిస్తా ఇది నేర్పిస్తా అన్నాడు. అంటే బొచ్చులు మోపిటో లేకపోతే వాచ్మెన్ ఉద్యోగమో. ఇక ఆయన మేము చేయగలిగింది అదే కాక ఆయన మేము ఇట్లా పూలు అమ్మిన కాడ కట్లు అమ్ముకోవాలండి. ఇక ఇవాళ రోజున
That is a sentiment shared by many on this side of the Krishna.
If the government will take our lands, then what shall I do? I don't know anything except cultivation. So here all the farmers know only cultivation.
Are your children also going to follow you in agriculture?
Yes. All the children of the farmers are also working in fields. If the government will take all these lands, then the children of the farmers, what will they do?
Andhra Pradesh is number 1 agrarian state today. They should be proud and building on that status of number 1 agrarian state today. And you don't superimpose a city like Singapore, which has no agriculture, zero agriculture. So instead of being proud of being agrarian state, they are discrediting agriculture. Some of the MPs go around saying agriculture is a low-level activity, only urbanization is a high-level, vibrant activity. This is not the attitude of the people elected by the rulers elected by the people. This is basically intrinsically wrong approach.
The other doubt is whether Naidu will be able to generate so much funds to construct the capital. The centre, despite its commitment in the AP Reorganisation Act, is hardly likely to be liberal with putting too much money in Naidu's empty kitty. Shivaram in Nidamaru village has refused to give his land in pooling for the capital project because there is a trust deficit vis-a-vis Naidu.
Huge amount of land, how can they develop? Where is the source? Where is the money? Central government is not still announced any packages or something like that. How he can develop? Only farmers' land sale to other companies or private property, private companies, developers, and he is going to develop. That is not good.
The apprehension is that Chandrababu Naidu is committing the same mistake that he did with Hyderabad when he was Chief Minister between 1995 and 2004. He then focused entirely on the capital, neglecting the rest of urban and rural Andhra Pradesh in the bargain. Now once again the focus seems to be excessively on the new capital zone. while drought-prone Rayalaseema and backward north coastal Andhra are reduced to mere geographical spectators.
We are not going to, repeat that kind of a mistake. We are very clear on this. In fact, that is the reason why all these 11 institutions that we are getting from the union government as a result of, the bifurcation and the act, we are spreading them all across the state. We are not putting them all in the capital like we did earlier.
Critics of the project point out that nearly 30,000 acres of the notified capital area gets flooded by River Krishna every year, which is why they say it's a bad idea to construct the capital in this part of Krishna and Guntur districts. But the government says constructing reservoirs to control that 3 TMC of water is part of its master plan.
When Naidu lost power in 2004, the rout was blamed on his excessive obsession with IT and an anti-farmer image. V.S. Rao believes he's being brazen this time against the same farming community because of the political circumstances now existing in Andhra Pradesh.
He is having one feeling. Politically, he is on a strong wicket. Congress party has paid very big price for the partition of the state. And Jagan Reddy, he is facing criminal cases. In all possibility, he will be behind bars after some time. So this man is thinking that there is nobody to challenge me for another 10-15 years. So let me do whatever I think. That maybe he's with that confidence he is moving. Otherwise, he will not do like this.
Naidu's critics feel he's obsessed with improving his record as the creator of modern-day Hyderabad, an accomplishment he constantly takes credit for.
Cities like Hyderabad are not built by anybody. Cities like Hyderabad evolve over a period of time. It took Hyderabad 425 years to become what it is. So to imagine or to dream or to think that I can surpass a Singapore or a Hyderabad, I think would be a stretch of an imagination. But at the end of the day, I wish him all the very best.
During the struggle for a separate Telangana state, Chandrababu Naidu sat on the fence, refusing to take sides. Even though personally his political interest meant he would have preferred to keep the state united. Now that he has a smaller state to look after, Naidu wants to be remembered as the man who laid the foundation of a forward-looking Andhra Pradesh. The jury is still out if Naidu is sowing the seeds of unrest in the farming community or leading the march of the state